when it is not needed. All the doubts have cleared.
Gurudev. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Chaiva Tato Jayamudiraye. Jai Gurudev. Yeah, I think we are all also in the Arjuna frame where Nashto Moha Smritir Labdha.
This we have to include now as we chant every chapter, we say Sri Krishna Paramatma Namaga. We probably do that also in the beginning. We are kind of adding one by one like that. I mean, it's so elated, mood today with all that slokas. The last part I missed a little bit and because I got a call from India. So can you let me know what Nana's plan was, like what he said about the class, how we going to go from here?
Yeah, he said we've stopped at 72. I just chanted 73rd verse. He said we'll stop it here and go back to the introduction of Gita. Remember the introduction, we had a doubt whether we should start with chapter 2 directly of the Gita home study.
I think we should start from the beginning.
Said, no, you have to go through the introduction. There's a lot of, only then will you understand the whole, framework on which the Gita is done. So,
right.
So we did the introduction, we did it once. In fact, I think we did also a kind of presentation. I think each one of us.
Yeah. We did, everybody did like 10 pages or something like that.
One part, and we gave a gist of that. We did that exercise.
Yeah.
But Nana wants us to go back and revisit that. And then we'll come back to 73rd verse and go on till the end. And then 78th after, the Gita Shastra will come to an end.
But we are doing the summary right now, right? That will be the complete summary of the Gita Shastra.
The summary is only of the 18th chapter.
I see. So after this, another summary there? I'm sorry.
I don't know whether after this there is another summary. No.
Oh, okay.
This is the summary.
All right. Just to get to know, because here in I'm sure everywhere some holidays will be coming. So I just wanted to know what I don't want to miss any of these, but just wanted to check to make sure timing wise. Yeah. Thank you so much.
By listening to this one only, I'm energized. I don't know why.
Yeah, it is.
That is so beautiful. Really, really, I tell you, wonderful. And I think you were such a energy.
I don't, I actually started off with a sore throat and all, a very bad headache. And I was thinking, Nana usually takes on half and I'll do it at the beginning. But the whole, the whatever, the flow was so beautiful.
So good. Yes, good. We should thank.
Took it forward. It was not like me.
Yeah. It was we. Yes.
It was very
so wonderful. So wonderful to be with this group. Nice. Wonderful. Pramalaji, your diction of Sanskrit and also the English is very wonderful. That's a different thing. But the flow which makes see, when you read, it should make others to understand. No? Otherwise, it would be just listening. You see, there is a difference there. Well,
I think
many
it's all
times,
his grace, Sureshji. It's all
uh,
his vibhuti only.
yeah. No, it is, see, uh, when you start reading, sometimes many people may not listen or may not understand also, after listening also. But here it was beautiful, rendered very nicely, and we should thank for you for that. Really wonderful. Good. Jai Gurudev. I really missed so many classes. But though because I had done, but really the 18th chapter is the summary which,
right?
which encompassed everything, and all the doubts have been removed. As Arjuna tells, no, all moha, delusion has been cleared. So good. So, but again, I think when Nanaji tells us to revise the first, that introduction, means he knows still we are not at so
teacher knows where the student
well,
is.
yeah, so wonderful, so wonderful. Very nice of him, very nice of him. Jai Gurudev, so nice.
Jai Gurudev, when Nanaji says, going back to the introduction, one thing struck me that after completing for chanting that 18 chapter, we are going back again. In the second round, we have started. During second round, it is so happening that when you read one chapter, you tend to read the other chapter also consecutive. So once you finished 18, you said, it is done. But when it started again, you are still feeling that enthusiasm more and more. Jai Gurudev. That is what is happening with me. Jai Gurudev.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, very true. It is actually, you make you do it because that knowledge has to sink in more. That, so I think you want to know more. In this particular aspect, when we say like that Artha Kama thing, you want more. Seems like at least in this aspect, I feel good about asking for more if we could.
Shankara's, Adi Shankara's acumen in refuting that Atma is not a karta even by its mere presence. In how the example of the king was given by the Purva Pakshi, he talks of the king and the commander-in-chief, they're just there, so they're not fighting. They're just by their mere presence. But then similarly, Atma is also there, but Atma is also a karta. Then Shankara says the example you've given itself is wrong, because the king and the commander-in-chief, they are of course doing some action. It is the king who initiates the war, the battle. Although he's not there physically fighting, he is the one who decides to fight. That itself is a karta, is a karma. So how can you say that the king is not acting and it's only his mere presence? So the way he refutes it, I mean, Shankara's intellectual acumen is so sharp that he's able to cut asunder the arguments of the Purva Pakshi.
Jai Gurudev, but is it not here the Maya has been created by Atma? Though it is because of the Maya, it has all started, right? because of the Maya, because of the Brahman has created Maya, and because of that we have the body.
That is why that thing is that sentence I really like, and we have to, I think, ponder over that. Without creation, there is creation. Without sustenance, there is sustenance. And without dissolution, there is dissolution. So when we actually look at Maya, without Maya, there is Maya. Maya is a concept that the Shastra has brought in, I think, to make us understand this whole Jagat, this whole creation. Ya Maya Samaya, they say. That which is not is Maya. So basically, Maya is actually non-existent. Is that while it exists, it doesn't exist. So that is where we need to take our understanding to, I guess. No, rather than trying to find out why this Maya, where has it come from, why did Bhagavan create Maya? It actually has no existence.
No, because if it was not there, we would have not been here.
Which is true. See, you and I are what? We are the Mithya Jagat. Jagat itself is Mithya, right? The whole, I know, it seems a little tricky over here, and that is the whole fun. The whole
that cognition of non-existence part, right?
No, excuse me, one more point. See, suppose I'm not here. Okay? Means I am not there, not existing. The whole world is not existing at all for me, for this. You see, there might be, but I'm not there to see it. So what is the use?
Like what happens in deep sleep? No, exactly what happens in the deep sleep. Your body, your cognition of body, mind, senses is not there. You are in effect not available to the world, and the world is not available to you.
Yeah, but that you who is in the dream, he's enjoying and he's suffering also. The
not
person
in the
dream.
Deep sleep. I'm talking of deep sleep.
Yes, but then a dreamer, not the dreamer, the entity in the dream, he is enjoying, he is having fears, he is having if it is a bad dream, he is sweating, and that is real for him.
That is what is Maya.
Maya, that's right.
There we were sleeping, therefore it appears to be as dream. Now we are living, that also is dream.
We are living in a dream. We are living in an eternal dream. So the thing is, we have to wake up from this eternal dream. And here the thing is, the waker is nothing but Brahma. Waker is nothing but Brahman. It is only that fine distinct, that layer of delusion, that vikshepa that is covering us.
I think we'll have to put an alarm now tomorrow, 4 o'clock, to wake him up.
We have to put an alarm moment to moment.
No, why you say it's all dream? I mean, there is a dream state and waking state, right? I mean, we can probably call it as it's still Maya, but that's not different from the waking state to the dream state. Is that what you're saying?
No, if you consider, see, if you've taken the example to understand the mithya nature of Jagat, taking the example of our dream world, dream state. So when you extrapolate that, as you and I are talking, this could also be part of a dream. It is also a dream, actually.
Actually, we are waking up for a bigger dream. That is what I feel. We had a dream.
I think if we go back to Astavagra Gita, The entire thing was unfolded because King Janaka went to, in a dream state, in his court. He was bored with the daily proceedings in the court. And in his dream, he saw that there was a drought in his home kingdom and there was nothing to eat. And with great difficulty, he found a piece of dry bread. And then he said, in those days, you had to share whatever food with those people who were around you. So he walks off and hides the dry bread in his robe and goes to the jungle. And there, when he takes it out, an eagle swoops down and takes the dry bread away. And he gets up with a start and he shouts, "Oh!" And then he realizes that he's hungry also. And he also realizes that he's in the court and the court is in progress and there is no drought. Now that the hunger is there, he's wondering whether that is real or this court is real. And then he asked all the spiritual heads who were there in his kingdom, and he was not satisfied with that answer. And he calls for people with better knowledge or whatever. That is how he comes upon Astavakra. And there it very clearly he Astavakra tells him, okay, get yourself, you know everything, you are in knowledge. Only thing is, like when he is told that you have so many, you have to disassociate yourself, Viveka, Vairagya. When he talks about that Astavakra, he says, I have such a big kingdom. When people have small little problems, they get attached to it. How are you telling me not to get into non-attachment? And then he said, okay, you know everything, you have the knowledge, just you have to go and get yourself into non-attachment. And that is when realization happens for King Janaka, and he says, Aho Niranjana.
I am
And-
free right now.
Yeah, I'm free right now. I'm stainless. Nothing can stain me. It doesn't take situations as events, just happenings, happened and gone and finished. Don't take them as major milestones like a child learning to walk for the first time, getting teeth for the first time. No, not like that. Past, buried, gone, like no stain on you. It's like a crystal glass where there are no stains.
So beautiful.
That's very nice,
Very
Siti.
good.
Thank you.
Guruji has introduced us in such a way that without knowing, we are in that knowledge. Really. Without reading, we are in there. Without very practically, he has imbibed that knowledge in us wonderfully.
See,
Very
when
thankful to him.
when Bhagwan says this knowledge to whom it should not be given, it automatically gives us an idea to whom it should be given. So when I was reading that, it was like, it makes so much sense when we charge for the courses, because we're bringing in that level of commitment from their side. They want to know, they want to experience. It is not just given to them, isn't it? As against, I know we've actually grown up with the Chinmaya mission. So there, the Gita Jnana Yajnas happen and it is free for everyone to attend. But in the end, on the last day, there is a Dakshina. So whoever wants to contribute whatever amount, they take the Dakshina. They have to run the mission and all these activities and all that. So there was a little conflict in my mind when I joined the Art of Living. Why are they charging money for this? Then I realized that not only is it to draw in that commitment, look at the way it has extended to 180 countries right now. That would not have happened without the bloodline of money. Money is, all said and done, required to carry forward any activity. So, right, I mean, I not had this conflict was there only in the very beginning when I joined the Art of Living, but after that it is completely gone. So this explains why we continue to charge money, even for a knowledge session. There are people, maybe they still have doubts. They say, why this is Vedanta, this is this, why are they charging for everything? It is only to bring in that level of commitment.
I need it.
I want
You
it.
know, I want it. I
Puja,
need it.
that the wanting to listen comes in there. No,
Yes, yes.
free, it is not that Gurudev did not give us anything for, he's given so much for free. Like throughout COVID, twice a day, doing his guided meditations directly, he was guiding all of us. All that was given free of charge. That was a need then, need of the hour. And millions benefited. So, but this knowledge, this experience,
No, there also, when he was doing daily meditation, only some were attending. Those who needed that only, those who only are attending. Even if we were telling to everyone, many people, okay. Because we were knowing that it is needed, we did it.
so even in our art of living also we are taught, no, don't become, you're a teacher only when you are in the course and you're sitting on the Vyasapeeth. Outside of that, don't go on giving jnana to this everybody here and there and everywhere. Dinner table, don't sit and give jnana. So that makes so much of sense here.
And also, only those points which Guruji has told, that much only, not even to explain it. He knows it. So wonderful. We are so lucky to have him. You know, at age of 25, he did all this. See, I was a professor in engineering college, head of department, all that. To revise the this what do you call portion, you know, we take so long. This one, what to be taught, what not to be included, what not to be there, revision. What Guruji has given on that day, it is now still followed, and it is such a good. He is an university in himself. He is an university in himself. At what level, what to be taught, what not to be taught, what to be told, and what not to be told. Such a beautiful knowledge.
And then the Palashruti, the Palashruti of this, no, it's not really Palashruti, but what Krishna himself says, a person who is devoted to me. He talks of jnani. How to get the jnana nishta is by teaching this. And that is why Nana has been saying time and again that he's as fortunate as we are in attending these sessions. Because for him, it is like that, getting that jnana nishta. And for me, it's like I said earlier also, it is a very fulfilling feeling that, you know, he's a Jivan Mukta. It gives me a lot of fulfillment. A matter of pride.
You are so lucky to be born in his house.
We all are actually. We all are connected, no? See that equation for an Ajnani, 1 + 1 = 2. But for a Jnani, 1 + 5 = 1. That's such a beautiful mathematics, that spiritual Vedanta mathematics.
So wonderful it is. Really
All
good.
together actually here. There's no difference. When you look at it, there is absolutely no difference. 1 + 5 = 1 only.
True. Agree.
Because that 5 dissolves into that 1.
Into 1.
Even going back to this introductory talk, I feel I was just trying to recollect. Just now when we went through, okay, knowledge should be given only to those who are jignasus, who are mumukshus. And it's like in some place in some chapter we had done Vada, Samvada, and those were only argumentative. I forgot the Sanskrit word for it. But that also means so many times there is this knowledge being given repeatedly in different manners. And probably it is still not sunk in, is what Nanaji is realizing for us. So he is taking us back. Just like in school, we had unit tests and then the final exams. So every quarter we had a unit test or something. So it's like repeatedly we are going back to the source and going back to the beginning. Jai Gurudev.
After this also, I feel if we can like this together, if we can go through the 18th chapter, because I think it is very much needed. Because once we are like dispersed, I don't know, in such a powerful way, the way Brahmaraji is conducting, if we will be able to do it on our own. So 18th chapter will be of immense help if we go through like this once again. Jai Gurudev.
Just Nanaji wants us to become Jnana Nishta. Again, repeating it to make us Jnana Nishta. Not only, really, I think we need that.
Here, nobody is conducting it, Madhuri ji. It is, I think, Bhagwan's grace, number one. And I think it is very simply the collective consciousness that has come together. No one can take any ownership on, on what has happened in the last few months. It is just that it's His grace that has brought us together.
Committed, full taking the responsibility every day in the morning. That is not a cup of tea. That is everybody's cup of tea.
So I'm actually very happy that we're doing the introduction once more. That will give us a lot of and that actually brings us back. The way we read when we chant Gita also, after the 18th chapter, we again come back to the first chapter. It only means that knowledge is Purna. It's the circle. It continues. It is never ending. And it is, it's wrong to say knowledge is never ending, because this Atma Jnana is the only knowledge that comes to its fulfillment in moksha. Yeah. So it's not right to say never ending, but you have to keep doing it punah punaha till you attain moksha.
Jnana Nishta. Yes.
You attain Jnana Nishta. So for that, this is very important.
What you told, no? The collective consciousness.
Hiranya
Garbha.
Wonderful. Right. Yeah,
I was,
it is
true. That is what.
Otherwise, how will people see, how did Suma all the way from Australia and people here in the Middle East, people so many from India and people from the US, like Dr. Mara, how would we all have come together? It is, you cannot explain it by any other means. It is really? The collective Nishta that has actually brought us together. And we are all nimitta karanas. We are only instrumental causes, that's all, in making it continue.
Yesterday I told, I attended the marriage. I was just thinking, so many people have come just to have one marriage. This one, it's like a magic, When I did my daughter's marriage, it just happened 3 days. So that collective, I don't know how the magic happens. It just happens.
So today we learned quite a few different things, like in the japa, there are different kinds of yajnas. Not japa, this one. What is that?
Tapa.
Different type of tapas and yajna. No?
Yajnas,
Yeah.
So Jnana Yajna is the best one. That is what he was telling. Means it is as good as, say, when we read, we think that we are only concentrating on this and we are not worshipping. Today is Monday, today is Sankashti, we did not do that and all that. We are wasting time here and all that. No, we should not think that way. What we are doing is the highest highest worship only. That is what it is clearly said. It is clearly said.
Right. I'll come back to that, but I wanted to talk about this. When the delusion is the cause, when the cause is delusion, Bhranti, everything is possible. So this erroneous connection between Atma, that Atma becomes a Karta, is also possible. So the Purva Pakshi is in that Bhranti still. So unless you remove that delusion with knowledge, you will not see clearly that Atma is just the Akarta, is neither the Karta nor the Bhokta. That is why
Nicely said, Brahmaraji. Wonderfully. Good.
Yeah.
Nicely put. Wonderful.
So here, in
Please,
spite of
please repeat,
Atma,
no? Please repeat.
no, here I'm just saying what is mentioned, what Swamiji mentioned. He says when the cause is delusion, Bhranti, everything is possible. The Atma, even though not a Karta, becomes a Karta. So the Purva Pakshi actually is in that state, in that Bhranti. Therefore, for him, Atma is a Karta. Whereas once you remove that delusion with knowledge, then you see Atma as Akarta and Abhokta. Atma is neither Karta nor Bhokta. And in spite of Atma being non-dual, the duality, you're all able to see the screen share, no? The duality of seer seen is apparent. Everything is possible. Without creation, there is creation. I mean, I really like this one sentence. Without creation, there is creation. Without sustenance, there is sustenance. Without dissolution, there is dissolution.
I think it's really wonderful.
I want to read the Sanskrit verse. Bela, I'm doing it, okay? Bhranti nimittam tu sarvam upapadyate yatha swapne mayayam cha evam nacha dehadyatma pratyaya bhranti santana vichedeshu sushupti samadhyadishu कर्तृत्व भोक्तृत्वादि अनर्थ उपलभ्यते तस्मात् भ्रांति प्रत्यय निमित्त एव अयं संसार भ्रमो न तु परमार्थ इति सम्यक् दर्शनात् अत्यन्तमेव परम इति सिद्धम. Beautiful. It's actually, I mean, I don't know the whole meaning, but then this Bhranti is this thing that takes away the whole, is the cause of all the fun that we have in the world.
We are in the, what you call, Bhranti of a magician, like that.
We are in the magic show. Correct?
Magic show. And anything can happen. I may vanish, in the magic show, they cut also.
Indrajalavat.
And there is no samsara in situations where there is no delusion, like it happens in the deep sleep state. See, that is why I had this doubt when do we use the knowledge while we're living in this world? When do we use the knowledge that of Advaita, and when do we use the knowledge of Dvaita? Once you look upon the Atma as the body, mind, sense complex, everything is possible. Then karma becomes important. Then there is dharma and adharma, punya and papa, karma yoga, antakarana shuddhi and sannyasa. Everything becomes meaningful. So when we, this is what I remember once China had mentioned, the pravritti marga and the nivritti marga. He says, when you are doing when you're meditating, when you're doing a sadhana and you're meditating, you take to the nivritti marga, where you meditate and you merge, the self becomes, you experience that non-duality. After you come out of meditation, you take on the pravritti marga. With dynamism, you go on and do whatever has to be done. So that is where that duality comes in. And
with
then
dharma.
with
Dharma,
of course,
that is.
with dharma. You follow dharma, you follow karma, karma yoga, not just karma yoga. And then antakarana shuddhi happens. And then sannyasa happens. So all this is like a beautiful, sequence. And then you take, that is why in our advanced course we are told, when you do seva, it deepens your meditation, your experience of meditation. So it makes a lot of sense now, no? How
that is, seva is karma yoga.
Karma yoga, isn't it? So
yes.
you're doing seva, then your sadhana becomes more profound, your meditations become deeper. So it all becomes, it's all following the sequence there. And it is this delusion, this mistaken notion of the self as the body, mind, etc., that is responsible for all that is undesirable, what we call samsara. It begins with the mistaken identification of I as the mind. Then there is identification through the subtle body with the whole physical body. Now there is the duality of jnata, the knower, jnana, the means of knowledge, and jnaya, object of knowledge. And the duality of jiva, jagat, and ishvara. This is samsara. So it all starts with the mistaken identification. So that is our problem. That is our fundamental problem of this mistaken identity. And therefore the solution is also to remove that mistaken identity, which is jnana. And this teaching Sampradaya Vidhi was so very good. No, the tradition of teaching. Na bhaktaya kadachana, na tapaskaya, na bhaktaya, na cha shushrushyave. All these three. A person who is not a devotee, a person who does not have any religious discipline, na tapaskaya, and na bhaktaya, and the one who is not willing to listen. I have a relative of mine who does a kriya and all that. She's also done an advanced course. But when I told her about the Bhagavad Gita, she says, I don't have any interest. It does not, for me, I don't have any interest in Bhagavad Gita. It was like very flat answer, immediate answer I had. So I was only wondering, I said, how can anyone not want to listen to the Gita? It was like difficult for me to, stomach. But then there are people. So a person who is not ready to listen, you cannot force them. And it is not right also to force them to come and sit and listen. You must give them that leverage. The time will come when they, sooner or later, will come onto this path. So we should drop our feverishness there.
And when we do basic course, we tell them, no, when I talk, you will say whether it is correct or not correct and all that. That is one way of listening. The other way is that I know this, so drop all that, simply listen like a music. We tell that. So all the points have come here in this, you have to drop all the perception and sit here
Correct.
to get what we are teaching as a refreshment. Means we have to configure our disk 0, make it empty, then we can fill whatever the knowledge what we are having. And that we do it in very subtly in the basic course.
It should be a beautiful blend of emotional and intellectual listening, wherein that is what we tell them. No, it should not be just whenever relevant, you have relevant questions coming up, you ask. But then again, you need to come to this knowledge with an innocence in your mind, with that shraddha, that belief that what the teacher is giving is beneficial to me. And then, see, it is not enough if you're just into knowledge, you also have to be a devotee. Both are important, not just a jignasu. You have to be a jignasu bhakta. That is what it's. There's another beautiful thing that came up here. Where is that? He talks of vyavasayatmika buddhi. See, although Bhrigu is Varuna's son, Varuna did not sit him up and say, oh, I have all this knowledge, you come and listen to me. It was only when Bhrigu went to his father and asked him, only then he went ahead and told him, Tapasa Brahma Vijignyasasva. He went and he gave him the direction.
And give directly. He says you go to there.
Yeah.
That is enough.
So the devotee here is necessarily a jignasu bhakta, because he has devotion to Parameshwara. He also has commitment to the teacher and the teaching. From this, we understand that even if he has a great commitment, tapas, for this knowledge, but has no devotion, this knowledge is not to be given to him. I'm reminded again of Swami Suryapadaji, who told us, who gave us the importance of Bhagavatam here. He says it's very important, like how you're listening to Bhagavad Gita. It's also important to develop bhakti, to go to Bhagavatam. Maybe sooner or later we'll chart out, we'll ask Nana whether we can do Bhagavatam. Otherwise, we will do Rajima's Bhagavatam once. We did it twice again earlier. We can do it one more time. We can do a Saptah, Bhagavata Saptah for that. So from this we understand. So therefore, there are two wings. One is knowledge and the other is bhakti. Both are important. Or tapas and bhakti. Here, one who has no interest to listen. See, as parents, as a mother, I can talk of myself. There is this urge to show your children the right path and then get them onto this and let them understand, so that they also derive benefit of this beautiful knowledge. But then you can direct them, you can guide them, and that's exactly how Nana did to all of us. He would only urge. He in fact, he set an example. He would do things. He still walks the talk. He would chant. He's chanting the Gita every day. He would read the Gita home studies. I don't know how many times he's read it over. Not only did he attend all the Gita Jnana Yajna lectures, he attended the Gita home study, and he would only guide us. He would just nudge us. He said, Bhagavad Gita is very important. That's it. But he would never insist and say, you sit down, I will teach you. I don't remember any one time that he did it. He only taught us when we went to him. So as parents, I think we should be aware of that. Parents and friends. We also have friends who we want to come on to this. So when we have opponents outside of our circle who kind of oppose Krishna and talk of Krishna with a different attitude, our Shraddha in him, our trust in him has to be so strong and so unwavering that nobody, whatever anybody says, will deviate our opinion of him or our trust and Shraddha in him. That is the Avyabhicharini Bhakti that we need have. No? Otherwise, there's so many commentaries, so many people. That's the problem with the West. Apparently, there is a lot of other people commenting on our own scriptures, on our on Ramayana, for instance, on Bhagavatam, on Bhagavad Gita, and they're giving it a different flavor altogether. So like we have Shri Shri Yoga as a form of authentic yoga, because now there's so many forms of yoga out there. Everybody is taken to yoga and they're giving in their own flavor to that. But the Ayush Ministry has come up with maintaining the authenticity of yoga. So we impart and we carry forward what is the truest sense of yoga. So similarly, I think we have to maintain that the sanctity of the Gita, plus have complete trust in the intentions of Bhagavan in giving him this Moksha Shastra. And one more thing was do bhakti. I think someone who said, I think earlier he had said, I want to study this, but I want to do bhakti. He says, studying this itself is worshipping Bhagavan. You know, that reminds me, my mother is into rituals. She does all her daily puja and this and that. But I have never seen, except for festivals like Ganesh Chaturthi and all that, my father actually sitting in front of the altar and doing a puja directly. He was always into this, into the form of Jnana Yajna. He was always in the Jnana Yajna mode. That itself is worship. No? So I think slowly but steadily we have to I mean, I'm talking of myself. I still am very fond of my, of doing my pujas and this vrat and that thing. So we need to graduate and make use of the little time that we have in this lifespan and use it judiciously.
No, that also helps doing puja. It creates a environment for others to follow.
Which is true. I'm not saying, I'm saying.
And we are doing only for that. I have understood this long time. Even if we don't do it, they will also not do it. I have seen that. So we have to do that, whatever it is. Otherwise, that tradition also will go. It will bring a what you call an environment of peace at home, you know. This I followed in US also. And I saw my grandson slowly, immediately coming and doing all the pujas. He himself, 3 years, 4 years. And he is now very good in reciting all the Om Bhu Bhur Swaha, that, this, Guru Brahma, that, everything automatically. And now whenever I call him, where is my Vittala? He also tells me Vittala. He will not tell me Tata. I am a Vittala. He tells me also Vittala only.
Mm.
So it just develops that way, you know.
Yeah, I agree that we'll have to continue, but the importance we give it mentally.
Yeah.
What-
That I agree.
That redirecting the importance and the priority. I think,
Priorities.
that thing
Because-
has to come.
Because
No?
we waste many times.
Mm.
We give, no, reading is not important. We'll do puja first. That is what
Correct.
many times we. So this, I told already that this
Yeah.
gives the, we know what to prioritize and what not to prioritize. And even if we don't do puja, we should not be hurt.
Correct.
That's
So
what.
our internal thinking, our thinking now is kind of getting refined little by little in directing our priorities, getting our priorities right. And why it is kept a secret, guhya. That is why, even if it is taught, if the person does not have the proper qualifications, the teaching will not convey anything. Thus, it remains a secret. There is only knowing the self, which is so subtle, ati sukshma, that is not available for objectification, but is revealed through the implied meaning, lakshyartha of the words of the Shastra. Therefore, it is guhya. So there may be a little spiritual ego coming up in all of us saying, oh, we have completed the Gita. We have studied all the 18 chapters. But then have we actually got the essence of the Gita? Is what each of us needs to reflect upon, isn't it? It is not physically completing the 18 chapters, but have we got that secret? Have we got that sukshma, that knowledge of the self? That is the crux over here.
No, when even you have got it, but you cannot say, I am realized person. That is what Guruji says, no?
No, that is true.
If you say that you are realized, means you are not realized.
Which is, I'm not refuting
So
that.
that means that becomes a secret.
My point is,
No, even then, at the highest point, it becomes a secret.
correct.
That is what I meant.
While I agree with you, it is that in our, for us, it is not like, it's not just an intellectual exercise of completing the 18 chapters. What I meant is, how many times has the Gita gone through you? Swami Chinmayananda, someone goes to him and he says, you know, I've read the Gita so many times. Swami Chinmayananda asks him a simple question. No matter how many times you have gone through the Gita, has the Gita gone through you? That is important. Have we got the essence of the Gita? That the secret, that is the essence. So that is something that each one of us has to look within and reflect upon. No?
Even after getting it, it becomes a secret. That is what I meant.
Yeah, that is true. That is
So it is a guhya.
Hmm.
Even after knowing it.
That is why Nana is urging us to not just chant the shloka, but also go through the meaning as we chant. Then it becomes even more meaningful. Before I leave, I just thought I will, what is that? Mom, the one who teaches reaches me alone. In this life, he is liberated. He is Jivan Mukta. If he has any problem with Nishtha and this knowledge, he gains it by teaching. That is why Gurudev says, the courses you are taking is not for others. We seemingly think it's for others, but it's actually for your growth, for our growth, our own evolvement, our own evolution. Since the nature of Ishvara and the nature of Jiva is one, in this life itself, he has recognized that he is not separate from Parameshwara. That is why all those of you who are yet to become teachers, please do become. There was one part where he talks of different kinds of tapas and yajna. No? I just thought we'll go through that once and then we can close. Yeah, over here. There are this ritual Jnana Yajna is different from the Dravya Yajna or Tapo Yajna or Japa Yajna. But worship through the ritual in the form of knowledge, this is Jnana Yajna. Shankara mentions 4 types of rituals here. The Vidhi Yajna, that is a ritual that is enjoined in the Vedas. Japa Yajna, a ritual in the form of oral recitation of a mantra. Upamsu Yajna, again a ritual in the form of a recitation of a mantra with a difference that it is chanted very softly, like only the lip movements. You just say softly, barely audible. And finally, Manasa Yajna, a ritual in the form of a purely mental recitation of a mantra. I think we had a session with Dinesh Bhai and our Mandal Vatika pre-TTP. In that he had mentioned there are some mantras that are to be chanted mentally. The Gayatri mantra is one such mantra. Whereas there are others. Sahaj mantra is again a Manasa Yajna, Manasa mantra. And then you have like Om Namah Shivaya and all that. They are like, you can either say it aloud like a Japa Yajna or an Upamsu Yajna, like you just say it softly. So there are different gradations. One is Vidhi Yajna, that is all the Homa and all the rituals. Japa Yajna is recitation. And Upamsu Yajna, where the mantra is chanted very softly. And Manasa Yajna. Of these, Manasa Yajna is considered to be the most efficacious. Because if you're doing something physical, like we see in the temples, even we do it that way. No, supposing we are doing a puja, we are doing something and we are also looking at others, whether they are checking or we do other things. The mind can get distracted. Orally also, the mind can be distracted. You are having the rosary, you are having the Japamala, you're chanting it, but your mind is taking a nice trip all around. But when you do it mentally, Manasa Yajna, then if the mind goes away, it again you have to keep bringing it back. So therefore,
Hari Om, Brahmaraji, I just have one, like when we are chanting the stotrams, no, we should chant it aloud like Vishnu Sahasranam or Lalita Sahasranam, or we should chant it softly and...
no, I think you can chant it either way. Even Bhagavad Gita, you can chant it softly.
Okay.
I think
but Nanaji told, once that when he was chanting it loudly, he used to go inward, but he preferred chanting it loudly. That day he was telling us that before we started, that day he was telling it.
And I think Rudram and all, it is to do more with the sound, right? So maybe it should be chanted loudly. Yeah?
I don't know exactly what are to be chanted aloud, what can be chanted inward, but Yeah. Maybe we should ask, we need some clarification there. See, when you're doing it for yourself, maybe this is what my broad understanding is, when you're doing it like in a homa or a ritual, you chant because everybody else is there. Yeah, you're the Ritvik, you're doing it, and the Yajamana who's taken the Sankalpa is there. That is why in all the homas and all, it's all chanted loudly. But when you're doing it as an upasana for yourself, you're the only one doing it, then you have a choice of either saying it aloud or saying it in your mind. And in that, doing it in your mind becomes even more profound. That is more, that is better than chanting it aloud. That is my little understanding. I stand to correct. We can ask Nana this tomorrow.
Yeah, Dhanyavad, Nana, Brahmaraji Nana. This Bhagavad Gita also, I'm chanting aloud only.
Yeah, we are also chanting aloud. But if you're doing it alone, then you have a choice of either chanting aloud or in your mind. I think so.
Okay.
That is my...
Jai Gurudev, what I observed is when you do very softly and inside, we tend to skip some words and rhythm and we go faster. And when we chant little louder, our own sound goes to our ears, and there is what we do. And if we make a mistake, we realize that I have made a mistake. Then we go back again. So that is what is happening with me. Yeah, Jai Gurudev.
But what Swamiji has said here, he said when you do things orally or physically, then there is a chance of you, not being in total. That arjavam is not there. See, that is what he says. Because when an action is done physically or orally, the mind can be elsewhere. With the physical or oral action continuing mechanically. This is what we find in temples. The Purohit is chanting the Sahasranama or some Namavali, but he's also doing several other things. So there's no arjavam there. They're all not in tune. On the other hand, when the mind alone is doing an action, like you're doing the Manasa Yajna, then one comes to know that the mind has gone away and can bring the mind back. Therefore, here too, the study of this dialogue in the Gita is a ritual in the form of knowledge. Naturally, it's purely mental, that is cognitive. And because of that, it is considered most efficacious. And then Shankara adds that even if you do not study the Gita, but only recite it, you get a result equivalent to the kind of result you get from a mental ritual. That is upasana. This is the praise here. Yeah. I agree with you, Sheilaji, that for fine-tuning your pronunciation, the best way is to chant it aloud. But after you've refined your pronunciation, then doing it mentally makes it more efficacious. Yeah, I think we will stop here today. Anyone wants to say or add anything? Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.
Jai Gurudev. And Brahmaraji, I don't want this to be, let this morning sadhana, whatever swadhyaya we are doing, should be continued for some more time.
Tathastu. Let it continue.
Dhanyavad.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
Kathopanishad also kindly keep in mind, Brahmaraji.
Oh my gosh, Bela, you cannot believe. I was just thinking of Kato yesterday. I was thinking after Nana completes the Bhagavad Gita, we should go on to the Kathopanishad. Request him to do Kathopanishad.
I was planning to write you today.
We'll of course put it forward to him. Yeah.
Yeah, Dhanyavad, Brahmaraji.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.